So let's talk about something that drives a lot of organizations crazy. How do you go from having these random, brilliant ideas every once in a while to building a reliable, repeatable engine for innovation that actually drives growth? We're going to break down exactly how you can make that happen.
Seriously, just for a second, think about it. How you listen to music, how you get around town, how you watch movies, how you order dinner. The last 10 years have been a whirlwind of change, haven't they?
And here's the thing. All those shifts in our daily lives, they didn't just happen by magic. While some of these breakthroughs might feel like a lucky accident, it's almost never the case. They're the result of a deliberate effort, a process to solve a real problem in a totally new way. Ah, and this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's what keeps so many leaders up at night. I mean, you have these amazing creative people on your team. You've got whiteboards full of incredible ideas, but somehow they just fizzle out. They get stuck in committee or just die on the vine. Why does that happen over and over again? And that brings us to what we call the innovation paradox. It's this frustrating clash between the massive potential of new ideas and the harsh reality that most of them just go absolutely nowhere. So let's really dig into this. On the one hand, you've got what we call ad hoc innovation. You know the feeling, right? That bolt of lightning in a brainstorm. It's super exciting, but it's totally sporadic, completely unpredictable, and you just can't build a business on it. But on the other hand, you have systematic innovation. This is sustained, it's strategic, and this is the key, it is repeatable. Look, one is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. The other, that's like building a power plant. Which one do you think is going to keep the lights on? Okay, be honest. Does any of this sound painfully familiar? You've got these incredible ideas, but you just can't seem to turn them into something real in the market. Or maybe good ideas get generated, but then they just vanish? Yeah, if you're sitting there nodding, trust me, you are in very good company. These are the classic symptoms of that paradox at work. So how do we fix this? How do we break the cycle? Well, the answer isn't just to try harder. It's to work smarter. It's about moving away from guesswork and building an actual system designed for success. The legendary Peter Drucker just hit the nail on the head here. It's all about a mindset shift. People hear system and they think bureaucracy or boring, but that's not it at all. A real system for innovation is about channeling all that creative energy by seeing every single change not as a threat to be feared, but as an opportunity to be seized. Okay, before we go any further, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what innovation even means. It's not just a cool idea. An idea is just a thought. Innovation is the successful exploitation of that idea to create real value. Think about the Post-it note. The idea was a failed super weak glue. That's it. The innovation, the magic, was when someone said, hey, what if we used this failed glue to make little removable notes? That's the leap from idea to value. So if that's innovation, then innovation management is basically the how-to guide. It's the discipline of actually making it happen. It's all the stuff 3M had to do to take that aha moment and turn it into a product you can buy at any office supply store. It's the machinery that turns a cool concept into a commercial reality. And that brings us to the big one, the Innovation Management System, or IMS. Now, the best way to think about this? It's literally the operating system for innovation in your company. It's not just a single checklist or one piece of software. It's the whole shebang. The people, the processes, the tools, and the culture all working together to make innovation a consistent, repeatable part of how you do business. Now, the good news is you don't have to pull this out of thin air. There's actually a globally recognized guide for this called ISO 56002. It's basically the collective wisdom of experts from over 50 countries. Think of it less like a strict rulebook and more like a field guide from the smartest people on the planet on what actually works. All right, so what does this system actually look like on the inside? What's the engine? Well, at its heart is a really clear, structured process. It's not some mysterious black box. It's a blueprint that anyone can understand and follow. And here it is. This is the core process, the pipeline that every great idea should go through. It starts with identifying opportunities. Then you create concepts around them. But I want you to pay close attention to number 3, validate concepts. This right here is the secret sauce. It's the step that saves companies from making massive, expensive mistakes. It's where you stop and ask the tough questions before you spend a ton of time and money building something nobody actually wants. Only after you validate do you move on to develop and deploy. Now, having a great process is fantastic. It's like having a high-performance engine. But an engine can't run without fuel, right? Or oil, or a chassis to put it in. You need a whole support system around it to make it go. And that's where these pillars come in. Because innovation, it's absolutely a team sport. You've got to have leaders who are genuinely bought in, not just paying lip service. You need a culture where it's safe to fail, a clear strategy, good intelligence about what's happening in the market, and real collaboration. Without this stuff, your fancy process, well, it's just not going to go anywhere.
Okay, so we've talked about what this system is and how it's built, but let's get to the bottom line. Why go through all this trouble? What's really in it for you and your organization? What's the real payoff here? It's actually pretty simple. A system like this is the direct solution to that paradox we talked about at the very beginning. It stops great ideas from dying on the vine. It's the bridge that gets you from, hey, that's a cool idea, to, wow, look at the impact this is having in the real world.
Because at the end of the day, this isn't about finding one lucky lottery ticket. It's not about being a one-hit wonder. The whole point is to build an organization that achieves sustained and repeatable success. An organization that can adapt, evolve, and thrive year after year by consistently turning its best ideas into real value. You know, there's this old proverb that just perfectly sums the whole thing up. The winds of change are always blowing. That's a guarantee. You have a choice. You can build a wall to try and hide from it, or you can build a windmill to harness its power. And that's what an innovation management system is. It's not a wall. It's your set of blueprints for building a windmill. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?